Hi everyone, we are learning exponents today. So, in the last class, we learned comparing powers. Okay, so in that we had two categories. So, first one was same base. Okay, so just to quickly recall, if it is the same base like 3, okay, 3 to the power of 2 and 3 to the power of 3. Okay, so whichever has the bigger power will always be greater. Okay, so we even learned it as a rule and we can generalize it. Okay, so if there is any number, say x, okay, so if it is 5 and if it is 7, so always the one with the greater power will be the greater number on the whole. Okay, but today we are learning the exception to that rule. Okay, so this rule only applies if if x is greater than 1. Okay, so x means like the base is greater than 1. So why do we say that? Okay, so we've learned if 1 is to the power 5 and 1 is to the power 7. Okay, so based on the rule we say if the base is same, okay, so whichever has the higher power will be greater. So ideally 7 is greater than 5, so this should be greater. But this rule only applies when the number or the x base is greater than 1, because in this case we have learned that 1 raised to the power, no matter what number, is always 1. So 1 raised to power 7 will always be 1 as well, so they will be equal to. So this is not correct. Okay, so the rule applies only when base is greater than 1. Okay, similarly, if we have different numbers but the same power, okay, same power. Okay, so what did we learn is if we are multiplying a bigger number, okay, the same number of times, okay, so 2 is smaller, so if we multiply 2 3 times and the bigger number 3 times, the one with the greater base will be greater. So if you want to learn more in details of how did we come up with these rules, you can look at the previous class. Okay, so here the rule said if the bases are different, so if it is an x and a y, okay, but the powers are same, okay, so we can say y is greater than x. Okay, so if y is greater than x, okay, so y is to the power will also be greater than, okay, I'm just generalizing it, okay, in general. Okay, but here also there is an exception. Okay, so the exception is when the power is 0. Okay, so we've learned that anything to the power of 0 is 1. Okay, so similar example, so ideally if we have the same power, the number which is greater, so 7 is greater, so this should have been greater than 5, right? But this is not the case. This is wrong, because 5 is to the power is 0 is 1 and 7 is to the power 0 is also 1, so they are equal. So this is the right answer, we know, right? So this rule only applies if power is greater than 0. Okay, so this, because we have same base, so the exception rule will be applied on the base greater than 1, and here we have the same power, so the exception rule will apply on the power when the power is greater than 0.